Hi, it's Lee, and welcome to the Tesla Economist. I know. Who cares what Tesla's stock price has done in one particular day? You care about where Tesla will be in 2030, when the mass sell-off of bulls starts, as everyone has finally reached their goal of holding for this period, and the community will now allow them to sell. But until that period, no one's allowed to sell or care too much about the stock price. Anyway, I like analysing what happens with the company on a daily basis, as long as where it might also be next decade. And a rise like we had today is worth at least understanding. I think we're seeing the delayed reaction of the new Model 3 Highland, or more so, the actual results of the update. It would seem not only has the Model 3 increased in popularity, but the Model Y as well. Perhaps now the Model Y seems to be better value in China compared to the Model 3 at a raised price. Or consumers are worried the Model Y price will increase. Some consumers may have been waiting for the new Model 3 to be priced lower than the previous. All Model 3's inventory in China are apparently sold out too. Anyway, it seems that Tesla's demand in China is actually doing quite well in general, and the new Model 3 has only increased the popularity further. So think now, when the Model 3 is also launched in the US, Tesla's biggest market, which also has the biggest incentives. On top of that, we will finally get the official EPA range of the new Model 3, which is hopefully hitting 300 miles of range. A fantastic milestone for an LFP vehicle, especially in that price bracket. Then, once we have it launched in the US, Elon might actually acknowledge it and tell us more information, like 50% new parts and processes that have managed to reduce production costs by as much as 10% or something, which would be great to hear. And perhaps Elon doesn't want to Osborne the current Model 3 inventory in the US. Remember, we are deeply involved in what Tesla is doing, but the average person has no clue about a new Model 3 coming out soon. The thing is, Tesla didn't really know just how popular the new Model 3 would actually be. They can only do so much market research to gather an idea. Likewise, neither did we, nor the market, know just how popular the new Model 3 would be. But from what we are gathering, it seems to be very popular and getting really good reviews and feedback. It's a really cool car, and I want one, but only if it comes in a performance or plaid version. I'm not willing to sacrifice my 3-second acceleration just for a nicer looking car. So this new Model 3 is going to be very popular, and about midway through next year, we will also have an even more popular new Model Y. Imagine if Tesla started video advertising when the Model 3 was launched in the US, or perhaps when the new Model Y is launched. The majority of shareholders think this would boost Tesla's stock price. And if you don't doubt that, then imagine this. Imagine if you'd sold all your Tesla shares, I don't know, for whatever reason, because you thought the price had bubbled or something, and were trying to time it and buy back lower, or whatever reason. But imagine being out of Tesla, and then suddenly you turn on your TV and you see Tesla advertising the benefits of EVs. Then imagine how you'd feel before seeing any reaction to the stock price. I think it would be FOMO. And look at how excited shareholders were when Elon actually did say they would test some advertising, except we're just seeing some basic Google ads, which is hardly even a push strategy. The benefits of EVs need to be pushed to car buyers. Anyway, I am still amazed by how much Tesla has increased the range on the new Model 3. It's so impressive and shows just how much further ahead Tesla are still progressing compared to the competition. As in, the lead Tesla has is still increasing. The competition are not catching up. Tesla just improved the range of their vehicle by about 10% without changing the drivetrain, as in using the same size battery and same motors. This battery technology is old as well. If CATL's M3P is anything to go by, or even Tesla's potential cyber cells. Of course, the battery isn't even structural either. If Tesla had to start the entire Model 3 design from scratch and was able to use the latest technology, then the range could perhaps be 10 to 20% further still with the same size battery. Which is what Tesla is doing with the Gen 3 vehicle. The compact will be smaller and thus weigh less, and it has been hinted it will have a 53 kilowatt-hour size battery, which will save further weight again. In fact, the compact could possibly be approaching 300 miles of range too. It would need to be very careful to cause as little cannibalization as possible to the Model 3 though. Therefore, it would likely not have as much luxury as the Model 3 and would want to keep costs low anyway. I don't know, I think I'm still getting my head around this range. Yes, the Highland looks fantastic, but anyone can more or less do that with a good enough designer, and it is somewhat subjective. However, increasing range like that requires some serious engineering talent. I was saying the range would increase, but I thought this was going to be through this new 66 kilowatt hour battery that was rumoured. Look, this is the biggest event since the Model Y launch as far as new models being released is concerned for Tesla. It's obviously a really big deal, and as usual will take a little while for the market to catch up, especially when we see what the demand for it would be like in the US, along with the pricing too. And maybe by that stage there'll be even more additional momentum with the Cybertruck, when a launch date is confirmed perhaps. Seeing more videos and photos of this car driving around in real life really shows how extraordinary this car looks. It's absolutely stunning. The waiting list is already years and years out, although there are bulls saying that these cars will eventually be everywhere. I really don't think that will be the case. My theory is the capital and time that goes into producing these vehicles is far too expensive when it comes to opportunity cost. Just think about building a factory that makes 300,000 Cybertrucks, or one that can make 1 or 2 million Gen 3 vehicles. Cybertruck is still using the old manufacturing techniques and has not moved to the unboxed parallel production line, which Elon claims can make an EV at half the cost of a Model 3. And it would appear that cost and prices is a big factor for EVs, judging by Tesla cutting prices continually. If they can reduce the cost low enough in the first place to hit this critical point where an EV is simply that much better value than an ICE car, then it'd be the nail in the coffin for ICE cars. But only if Tesla can supply enough vehicles. Which goes back to what I'm saying as to why sell a Cybertruck that consumes almost 3 times as many cells than a compact. It is in Tesla's best interest to get as many EVs on the road as possible in order to have robotaxis or FSD upsell. The Cybertruck would not fit this mission. It doesn't matter how big the demand or waiting list becomes for the Cybertruck. Tesla claim to want to get as many EVs on the road as possible. If Tesla doubled down on another Cybertruck factory, then it would be a sign Tesla is not confident in FSD and instead wanting to profit more on EVs. If Tesla believes in robotaxis and FSD, then that's where the money is, rather than the initial one-off profit from selling an EV. Anyway, as long as the economy holds and Elon doesn't do anything too bad to sabotage the Tesla brand any further, then the stock price should return to 300 and possibly exceed it, judging by what's coming up in the future. We're also hearing reasons as to why Mexico has been delayed, and perhaps that might be resolved within a couple of months. So if we start seeing Tesla breaking ground there, then that's probably another 10% boost in the stock price or more, as it is a really big deal. Although it'd be great to know where Tesla plan on getting about 100 gigawatt hours a year of cells for these cars. We have heard that Tesla was pursuing a plant with CATL in Texas last, which is certainly close enough to the Mexico factory, a lot closer than Shanghai at least, and it would have 100 gigawatt a year production. However, this was almost half a year ago now, and we haven't heard anything since. On top of that, we also have Tesla about to break ground with the Shanghai Megapack factory. So there is a lot coming, and it should move the stock price as a result. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.